you was conflicted, misusing your influence. Sometimes I did the same, abusing my power full of resentment, resentment that turned into a deep depression. Found myself screaming in the hotel room. I didn't want to self-destruct. The evils of Lucy was all around me. So I went running for answers.
And I think that white people are running for answers. Hi, my name is Vonda Page, and welcome to a brand new podcast series here on Living Corporate Network. It is called When White People Have Had Enough. Hi, once again, my name is Vonda Page, and I'd like to welcome you and talk a little bit about where this title actually came from. Well, hopefully you got a chance to listen to the very first episode. This is episode number 2, and that audio you heard to start out is, of course, my boy Kendrick Lamar, straight out of Compton, RAW. I really love his music, and when I think about black music, when I think about hip-hop, when I think about rap, and I think about the streets and the struggle, and I think about R&B, and I think about neo soul, and I think that black people have been telling white people forever, stop killing us, listen to us, all we want is peace, we are all the same. But white people have been fed the message, I am better than you. You are an animal. I am more than you. You are less than. And I think that Roe v. Wade has shaken up the apple cart for lack of a better analogy, I guess, right? Because I'm trying to get very specific about my language and how I talk, because one of the things I realized is, as a 50-year-old black woman, I grew up with a lot of language that we would now call ableist, and because I am really I consider myself a champion and an advocate for every marginalized and underrepresented and historically oppressed, franchised upon, and just exploited community. And so I'm trying to be very specific and detailed around my language, especially when it comes to using words that have evolved, right? Because language has evolved, and language in and of itself is change. We can't even stop language from changing, right? We cannot stop words from being used. We cannot stop progress from happening. And so I want to tell you a little bit about Ntozake Shange. And first and foremost is I didn't realize until Friday of last week, I think it was, that her spoken word with poetry and music and dance from her choral poem, which was named For Colored Girls Who Have Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough, is Shange's masterwork. It's her masterwork. And it was written in 1975. And I think I saw it around maybe 1980 or so, but it was first on Broadway in 1976, and it stands as the longest running play by a black writer in Broadway's history. They're calling her an African American writer, but she's a black woman because she was born here in the United States. Her name that she was born was Paulette Williams, and she changed her name to Ntozake Shange. And I encourage you, please go to officialntozakeshange.com and learn about her. She was born in 1948, died in 2018, very young, as all black women seem to do these days, for a myriad of reasons, and we know why. And once again, when white people have had enough, that will also change. Black women's mortality will change. Black infant mortality will change. Black maternal death rates will change. Black women, instead of making 62 cents on the dollar, as inaccurately reported in freaking Bloomberg, but as 92 cents, instead of us making 62 cents on the dollar to the white man, everybody will make the same damn amount. And because black women are the most educated population in this country, we would rightfully be at the places in government and in corporate America and in academia and healthcare and all the other fields. But we are not. And why? The answer is because capitalism, greed, oligarchical greed, if that's a term, I made it up. Oligarchical greed, because oligarchs are greedy AF. And that is why we're in this situation. And so again, when white people have had enough, you're going to do something. So Ntozake Shange, this poem for colored girls who consider suicide when the rainbow is enough. And she spells enough, E-N-U-F. And she also uses the term colored girls because she wanted her grandmother to understand she meant that this was for her. This was for black women. Okay. And this was about, the trauma that black women and children have undergone at the hands of men. And so if you think, okay, that this is just about women's rights, this is about children's rights. Because half of all the children born, right, will have uteruses and vaginas, capable of giving birth, capable of producing slaves. Because I'm going to tell you, the oligarchs are tired of seeing black excellence, brown excellence. They don't like the fact that Asian men are the most financially successful in this country. They don't like the fact that black people, men and women, and non-binary folks, but black people, period, are building and growing and doing their own thing. They don't like that we are inventors, and they don't like that history is getting out and that people are learning, oh, yeah, this is a scam perpetrated by the founders of genocide and everything, right? The so-called founders of the country who colonized the Americas via slavery and theft. Boom. That's where we are. So that's an uncomfortable, hard, and difficult and painful truth. I understand it. I get it. But when you've had enough and the hard, painful truth gets to you and you're ready to take action, here's the next thing you can do. The next thing you can do is disinvest your money from any of the banks that you use and switch your money, put your money into a local community credit union, and better yet, a black bank. That's what white people will do when they have had enough. Now, back to Alabama stripping rights of parents to give their children the proper medical care involving themselves. Listen, this is HIPAA, this is privacy, this is everything. When you've had enough, you will go to your local hospital and tell them you'll take away the donations, right? And you'll find out, right, about the board members. There's a lot of things you can do, but literally nothing's going to change until white people have enough. So I want to say thanks again for tuning in. I want you to stay tuned. I want you to go to leadertolegendexclusive.com and sign up for my masterclass so that you can learn to lead change, because that's what I'm going to be talking about. And I'm going to be talking about honing habits, right? Because it's all about the habits. It's not about the things you do once a day, once at a time in a one-day workshop. Even a 3-day masterclass, you're going to have to go deeper. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And so I'm super excited about it. If you don't know where to find me, you can always catch me on LinkedIn, and you can hit me up at Vonda at VondaPage.com. So, hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I look forward to talking to you again when we dig into when white people have had enough. Bye for now, y'all.